Hi, welcome to the Living in Partnership with Spirit show. I'm Ingrid Turner, your host. Thrilled, as always, to be here with you today. So during these shows, I get to share with you the spiritual energies forecast for the week, and then I will discuss, dissect, and elaborate on divine messages and teachings that I receive from Spirit. I have special shows once a month. So at the end of every month, I have a show that features a panel of expert guests on in-depth topics. March's special show dives into spirit and creativity, channeling and creativity, and how creativity connects with spirit. And that is scheduled for the 28th of this month. So Tuesday, the 28th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So before we dive in, before I get started, I always want to make it really clear that there's no special reason I receive the messages I do from Spirit, except that I'm open to it and fiercely committed to that enlightenment lifestyle. So that doesn't make me better or worse than anyone else. It just makes me open. And I am profoundly grateful to find myself in this position where I'm able to receive with such clarity and then make it my life purpose to share my experience of these messages with you. So thank you for being present with me. Thank you for allowing me to share Spirit's wisdom and advice with you. And your job is really simple here. You take what you hear and you hold on to what resonates deeply with you, and then you let the rest go. I don't prescribe a dogma for you. I just share what I get, and I share it in the clearest way that I know how. If you would like to work with me one-on-one, you can book a reading with me on my website, which is ingridhturner.com. That's ingridhturner.com. I offer a whole bunch of different ways to connect with Spirit directly for you because I want to fit into as many needs and as many budgets as I can. So check it out because my services start at $25. Again, that's ingridhturner.com, ingridhturner.com. So you can also connect with me and a whole community of us through our Facebook group. It's called Living in Partnership with Spirit. So it's the same name as the show. You'll just plug that into Facebook search and it'll pop right up for you. I also really like to talk about, for anybody who's new listening in today, I'd like to talk about what is living in partnership with Spirit, give it a definition of sorts. I'll give you my definition with the understanding that it is totally open to interpretation. So take what you want from it. So for me, living in partnership with Spirit means to commune with the divine and live from that place of feeling and intuition. So really leading with your intuition. It means living with less anxiety and more certainty as a result of that. And ultimately, I would define living in partnership with Spirit as living your highest purpose in this body on this planet. So what this show does is explore different themes and topics and paths to living in partnership with Spirit. We'll delve into the many ways by which we communicate, how we experience, and how we work with Spirit in our daily lives. Okay, with that said, let's dive into the spiritual energies for the week. I really love what I'm seeing here. So the beginning of the week, today and tomorrow, there's this ramping up that's going on. I feel like there's going to be a message or an offer or something that's really going to help set you on your path. And I love this because before I even tuned into the energies this week, I got mine. I posted on my Facebook page and in the group, it's about, I got B energy. I got about focused intention, okay? Really focusing on what makes you come alive, what truly sustains you on all levels. And that can be hard to dig through. That can be hard to really reach. So your job before you take any action today or the next couple of days is to get focused, get centered, and remember what you're here for, what sustains you, whether that's painting pictures or teaching or readings or writing or whatever it is that really just fills you up and brings you excitement and energy into your life. That's what the focus intention needs to be on. That's your gift right there. That's the message. So going into the weekend, starting Thursday, we're hitting a bump, and it's a mental bump, but it's a really important bump because it's, once you get on that momentum, on that destiny, that life purpose trajectory, what happens is we run into our BS. We run into our stuff, and that's what's coming up and leading into the weekend on Thursday and Friday. But here's what I love about this. On Thursday, you're going to experience some energy that is going to force you to really look at your roots, look at where you come from, and really look at what is helping you, in terms of your upbringing and your family and your culture, what's really been helping you and what has been hindering you. And you're going to have the opportunity to cut away the nonsense that has been holding you back, old beliefs, other people's belief sets, things you just don't need to hang on to, that you hang on to merely out of habit. And once you're able to cut these away on the Thursday and the Friday and really get clear on that, coming into the weekend, you get to step back into your power. And it's interesting because the energy is It's about being able to really see where you're going. You have the focused intention, and now you have a clear path ahead. And because you've dealt with some of the nonsense at the end of this last week that's been holding you back, you're able to move forward with a tremendous amount of discipline and focus and intention and confidence. Confidence is going to be a really big piece here. So I'm really excited about this week, and I'm really feeling like don't worry about the bump. It's not a big scary thing. It's a really, really positive running into the nonsense. And here's how you can best handle this. When we come up against our stuff, we tend to judge ourselves for it. Oh my God, I have baggage. I have issues. I have trauma. Well, yeah, we all have issues and baggage and trauma. It's part of the human experience. And when you can pop your identity out of yourself a little bit and really look at it dispassionately like you would your child or your best friend, like, hey man, there's no blame here. It is what it is. And now that you see it, now you can let it go. Now you can cut it away. Now you can release it. And then you can really step into your power full force and what you are here to do, what you are here to experience and live. And that is how you add that, you give back to the world. You give back to raise the consciousness of our planet. Okay. Spiritual forecast for the week. I love it. Enjoy the heck out of it. It's going to be a push forward week. I'm really excited about it. So today, what I want to get into, the teaching segment here, I want to talk about your intuition, how you access it, and just as importantly, how you might miss it when it shows up for you. So I love doing readings for people. Being that medium, that conduit to source energy, it's exhilarating, and it leaves me buzzing afterwards. But you know what I love even more than being that myself, than being that conduit myself, is teaching you how to connect directly. Helping reveal your innate abilities, and then watching you grab hold of that rope and swing out from there. We all have the ability to connect with spirit in our own unique way. It's just a question of finding your way in. So I'm going to show you the different doors through which you can access spirit. And I'm going to help you understand how this shows up and how you might miss it because you are so powerful in that area. You know, when we have gifts, we don't realize that they're special because we've always had them, and we don't realize that maybe other people don't have them too. So we go through life thinking we're deficient in an area when really we're excelling. Okay, so let me dive in and let me explain. I will be taking calls at the end of this segment, so you can ask questions about the topic, or you can call in for a mini reading too if you'd like. You can call this number right now and reserve your spot in the queue. The number is 657-383-1895, and then you press 1 to reserve your spot, okay? Okay, so we all have one or two areas, intuition areas where we're naturally strong. So this means that we, like I said earlier, we miss the fact that we have these gifts in the first place because we're so used to it. We're so inured. It's like, well, I can't do that. Well, yeah, you can. You just don't realize you can because you've always done it and you never questioned it or asked if anybody else could do it. So I want to talk about the four main clairs is what they're called. There's clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. And then I'm going to cover mediumship and a couple of other secondary areas where people's intuition can show up as well. So I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty here. We're going to start with clairvoyance, which is probably the most common and popular way that we connect with our intuition. And clairvoyance is that clear seeing. And what that is spirit, source energy, whatever box you put it in, it's riding your imagination. So you see things in your mind's eye. You can see symbols, or you can see literal events or people, or for me, it's a mishmash of the two. And some clues that this might be a really strong area for you and you don't realize it is your dreams. So if you have very vivid, colorful dreams, you're naturally clairvoyant. And the reason it's showing up in your dreams, in your unconscious state, is because you're not using it in your conscious state. So keep an eye out on your dreams. If you're noticing your dreams are wild and colorful, not everybody dreams in color, okay? Clairvoyant people dream in color. So if you're having wild, colorful dreams, that's a clue that you're clairvoyant. So how it shows up, again, it's spirit riding your imagination. So we all have an imagination to some one degree or another. And when spirit rides that imagination, it shows up as images in your head, okay? So these can be symbols, symbolism, or it can, be literally images. So the way for you, if you identify with what I talked about with your dreams and dreaming in color, and you're still going, no, that doesn't work for me at all. What I want you to do is slow down, because the reason you're missing it in your conscious waking state is because it's happening so fast, and it's always happened so fast, and it doesn't occur to you that other people don't experience this bombardment of images in your head. So slow yourself down and try to notice when you see things before they happen. Okay, so for example, I remember in high school, I was walking, before I came into intuitive work or really, had anything to do with it, I was walking down the hall in high school, and I don't know, I just saw flames. It was like flames covered my eyes, and I went, whoa. And then in auto shop class a couple hours later, somebody parked his truck after it had been running on a pile of sawdust, and it caught on fire. Okay, that doesn't mean that image was groundbreaking or, but it was one of my first clues as a teenager, where I went, whoa, I actually saw that. I saw flames, and then a fire started. Easy to dismiss, but as you slow down and notice these images come up and start to connect the dots, then what will happen is your clairvoyant abilities will actually get stronger. They'll get stronger, and they'll get more not accurate is not the word, but more purposeful. They won't be so random, such random occurrences. So the next big clair is clairaudience, and that's clear hearing. So that's hearing voices. But because hearing voices is generally considered a very bad thing in our culture, people who are very, very clairaudient will suppress this to a huge degree as they grow up. Because when we're kids, we don't want to tell people we hear voices. That's not considered a good thing. So what we do is we suppress this. So clairaudience starts to show up as spirit riding our thought stream. If you're not hearing things directly, spirit will ride your thought stream. So you'll notice you have thoughts that are sort of outside of yourself almost, they're not your thoughts, they're foreign thoughts. And they will be you-centered. So when our thoughts generate from ourselves, it's usually I, me, mine, because we're selfish creatures, all of us. So when it shows up as a you-centered thought, you are, and it'll have a positive nature, a positive message. You-centered with a positive message, that's clairaudience showing up. And because you suppress that and you're not able to hear the voice, clairaudience shows up that way. Another way it shows up is songs starting to loop in your head randomly. And when you pay attention to the lyrics of those songs, you're going to understand there's always a message for you in there. So if you're a person who gets songs in your head all the time, or maybe you actually are able to hear the songs, that's sort of a more socially acceptable way of hearing the voices. You start to hear the song, look for the message there. That's how that shows up. So again, you might miss this because we tend to think very, very quickly. We're all moving real fast in our culture, and we're going a million miles a minute, and our brains are going a million miles a minute. So it can be really easy to miss these foreign thoughts, these sort of outsider thoughts that are you-centered. So again, the way to identify this, if you resonate with this, especially with the songs, a lot of people are going to resonate with, oh, yes, I do hear songs. If you hear that a lot, slow yourself down. Slow your thoughts down. Take a few minutes in the day and just try and focus on slowing yourself down, and you're going to find you get a lot more information coming through as well. You're going to start to notice all the information that's coming through. So the third big clair is clairsentience, or empath, as people call it. So what is it? It's clear feeling. And clues that you're really strong in this area are if crowds exhaust you, if people exhaust you, if you find that some people you are around, you find yourself, you're exhausted after them. If you tend to mother people, if you tend to nurture and care for people, even when you don't really want to, it's just something you can't really help, this is an indication that you're clairsentient. And when you're out and about and you're in a crowd, like you're at a theme park or a mall, and you cannot handle it for more than an hour at best, that's a clue that you're very clairsentient. So what is this? This is absorbing other people's energy, other people's feelings, and your body giving you clues giving you physical reactions to emotional situations. So your body is telling you what is going on. So some of the ways it can show up, like I said, crowds exhaust you. But a really common example is the person who's going to get on a plane and they feel nauseous, and then they decide not to get on the plane because they feel scared, and the next thing you know, the plane crashes, right? So we've heard about that. Those people are very, very clairsentient, and they're very dialed into their clairsentience. Now, on that note, nausea doesn't necessarily mean one thing for everybody. So for example, for me, when I experience nausea because I'm very clairsentient as well. But when I experience nausea, it's not a good or a bad thing. It's not indicative of good and bad. For me, it means a massive energetic shift. It's like my body's trying to catch up with my spirit. I go, whoa, kind of feel a little bit of lurching there. So everybody is different, and, you just learn the language of your body, learn the language of your feelings. And you might miss it because, in my experience, being easily exhausted is sort of looked down on, if that makes sense. It's sort of, you're supposed to be up and high energy and go, going. And if you're a person who needs your quiet time and your rest and your alone time because you need to recharge because you're very clairsentient, we might suppress that. We might really power through that and work through that. And sometimes we think we're sick. We think we have health problems or what have you. And so that's how you might miss it, because you may not realize what is going on with you. So finally, we have claircognizance. So claircognizance is that clear knowing. It's when you just know something. And this can be a really tricky one for people, because when you just know something, you feel like you ought to be able to trace it back. Oh, somebody must have said something, or I must have seen something. But you'll know that this applies to you because you'll know when you do trace it back, you never really find the source of how you know things. So this can be one of the most difficult ones for people when people are very strong in this area. It can be one of the more difficult ones for people to grasp, to really sink their teeth into, and to really do anything with. With the rest of them, with clairsentience and clairaudience and clairvoyance, the nice thing about these clairs is you have something tangible to relate it back to. You don't have that with claircognizance. You just know. And that can be a challenging one for people to live with and to work with. It's also interesting that, claircognizance, when you're very strong in claircognizance, I feel like one of the things, what you're here for is to work on your faith, is to develop your faith, because you just have to have blind faith in what you know without any rhyme or reason or anything to tie it back to. You just know, and you just have to go with your gut, is what it is. So those are the 4 clairs and the different ways we show up, how we might miss it, and how you can start to slow yourself down, an indication that you might be strong in these areas. So start to slow yourself down and pay attention. And I would keep a journal too. Keeping a journal is a really great way to anchor these things. We deal with spiritual, ethereal stuff that doesn't have any substance. And we are physical creatures having a physical experience. And sometimes we just need something physical to handle and to deal with. So keeping a journal and writing down your experiences is a way to anchor those things in the physical world. So the other thing I want to touch on is mediumship, because mediumship is interesting, it's powerful, and it's a very conversational way of dealing with spirit. So there's 2 kinds of mediumship. There's spirit mediumship and physical mediumship. So spirit mediumship is seeing spirit in your mind's eye and relaying information. So clues where this might be a strong area for you and you don't realize it is faces and beings in your mind. So like clairvoyance, like clear seeing, where you have images bombarded at you all the time, spirit mediums have faces at them all the time. They're constantly seeing faces, and they're seeing beings and people. And when this shows up all the time from early childhood, you don't question it. You just go, well, everybody must see that, or it must be my imagination. But it's not. Not everybody sees these faces. Not everybody sees these people. They don't show up. They're showing up for you because you're a spirit medium and because you're open to it. So a lot of times these faces will be random. They won't actually have anything to do with you or your family. I remember the first channeling experience that I had when I was a child. It was a spirit medium channeling experience. And I saw a man in my mind's eye, and he told me a story. And he told me a story about fading away from his lover, and he was all torn up about it. And I ended up writing a poem. At 7 years old, this man dictated a poem to me. And you know what? It took me until I was in my 30s to realize, oh my God, that was my first channeling experience that I remember. I mean, I remember my parents saying to me, what, this is great, Ingrid. Why did you write it from the perspective of a man? I'm a 7-year-old girl. What do I know? But it was so visceral and so clear. And I saw him so clearly, and he dictated it to me in images and words and feelings. But it's so easy to miss because it didn't even occur to me to tell my parents that I'd seen a man in my mind's eye, and he had told me the story. Maybe it would occur to some kids, but it didn't occur to me. To me, it was just like, I don't know, I just did it. I don't know. Like, so a physical medium is also a spirit medium, but a physical medium has two abilities that a spirit medium doesn't have. A physical medium can make spirit corporeal, so that means you can take spirit and you can make it physical. And the reason is because we give off a substance called ectoplasm, and I crack up every time I say that. It feels like such a joke. Like Ghostbusters. I don't know. It's so silly to me. But anyway, so it's this energy that we emit, and we don't have a lot of control over it. And what it does is it makes spirit corporeal. So, when you see a ghost in your house, when you see something out of the corner of your eye, and you think somebody's there, and then, nobody's there. Sometimes, it's really clear and they're sitting in front of you. I call these things out of the corner of our eyes, these ghosts out of the corner, I call them friendlies. I don't know why, but it's just a funny way for me to do it. And it takes some of the zing out of ghosts and scary ghosts, because ghosts are not scary. They're just having an experience like any of us, and they're not that big deal. So I call them friendlies. The other thing that a physical medium can do is spirit can take over and channel through you. So they can physically take over your body. Now, you have to be okay with this. This is not something that can just happen, that spirit can just come in and take over your body. This is very much permission-based. And I'm a physical medium, and I do not give spirit permission to take over my physical body. No way am I going to let go of that much at this point in my life. Does that mean it's dangerous? I don't know, because I don't have a lot of experience with it. But I do know that as a physical medium, this is something that you can do. And, you may miss this because, like a spirit medium, these things can just show up in your life, and you don't think it's out of the norm. When you see things out of the corner of your eyes, when you're not paying attention, you're really picking up on that spirit energy, but you're telling yourself, oh, it's just a figment of my imagination, or it's a shadow, or it's like, something else. But start to trust it. Start to trust what you get, and these abilities will strengthen and become stronger, and you'll be working that faith muscle. So those are the main ways that people's intuition shows up. Some secondary ways include psychic smells. If you look at a picture, it's something you can smell, what's in the picture. Psychic information from objects, so holding an object and getting psychic information from that as well. Divination, using tarot cards or runes or what have you. And then scrying, which is right in line with that. But scrying is using anything in your environment as a divination tool. So you can look at the wall and glean intuitive information from that. Maybe you'll see symbols or images or words or what have you. And the thing about, so that covers the main areas of your intuition and how you connect. And I hope that you are able to get an idea from this on, how this shows up for you, where you might be strong and where you can slow yourself down and start to explore these qualities. Because the truth is we can all develop almost everything on this list, but most of us have one or two areas where we're really strong. For me, my two strongest intuitive areas were clairvoyance and clairsentience. And I'm also a spirit and a physical medium, but I really played more in the spirit medium realm for a long time. So explore that, play with that, and trust that it's going to show up and become more clear for you. All right. So there's your rundown. At this time, I want to welcome you to call in with your questions about intuition or to get a mini reading with me. The number is 657-383-1895, and then you press 1 to get on the show. And we already have someone calling in, area code 805. Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm great this morning. How are you? This is Donna. Hi.
Hi, Donna. No, I'm fabulous as well. Thank you. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. What can I answer for you? What's your question?
Well, I kind of wanted to get a mini reading, if I could, please.
You bet. Do you have anything specific you want me to look at, or you just want me to do a general reading?
Well, I'm kind of out there looking for a relationship. I want to magnetize one toward me, and then also a little part-time job. I'm not working. My little job just ended.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let me look at the relationship. And so do you feel like you're I'm picking up this interesting feeling from you. I'm feeling like you're out of the game, like you're not really welcome in the dating game anymore. That's what I'm picking up from you. Do you have that going on inside you? Do you have that story running on some level?
Well, a little bit. I mean, I am 63, and my other girlfriend's my age, have difficulty meeting men in our town because of the age. And
right.
Yeah, and so I am getting involved in more groups, but we'll see.
Great. So great. And online would be really good for you as well. But here's the thing that's really most important for you. You have this story running, and it's it's rooted deeper than I would like it to be for you. And that's a big part of the reason why you feel like you're not having success in this area. And part of it is, you're listening to your friends talk about they're not having success because of their age, or, because they're not, they're out of the game, or not welcome in the game, or whatever that story is. So you need to work on that in yourself. That's the core of what I'm feeling, and it's deeply rooted. And you would be well advised to stay away from that kind of talk, because then that's just rooting it deeper and deeper. And that's your belief set that's really keeping you sort of stuck outside of the dating world. I see a man in your future, but it's very much dependent on you working on this story. So take it back to yourself. Online dating is going to be really good for you, but take it back to yourself first and really work on it. It feels like a root, like a seed that's really strongly rooted. So start working on that, and start working with your friends on that too, because they could all benefit from this work. From going inside and working on that story. There's no way that you're out of the dating game just because of your age. That's just a fallacy. It's just not true.
Yeah, I am online with eHarmony, but I haven't had any success with that. Yeah, it just the few that were interested, I really wasn't interested. Yeah.
Right. And that's because you've got energy working against you. You've got a belief system working against you. So you keep running up against that. So the people that you're attracting aren't going to be a hit for you. And you're not attracting nearly as much. And I feel like, here's what I feel like. I feel like I'm kind of feeling into you, and I'm feeling like there's a tremendous amount of physical beauty and inner beauty too, all coming together, and it's really, really delicious, and it's really, really attractive. But there's this core belief in there that's just tripping you up. So eHarmony is good, and stay online, stay on that site, and keep working on self, keep working on dismantling that story, and see maybe your friends can get involved with you, and you can all work on dismantling your story. Because Paramahansa Yogananda said, environment is stronger than willpower. So when you're around people who are telling that story over and over again, it's going to be very difficult for you to let that go, to dismantle that.
Yeah, they're not constantly saying it, but, that has been there. The girlfriends that I do know haven't been in relationships for 7-8 years. Uh-huh. But, so I am getting involved in more groups, so I'm just going to magnetize it toward me. I feel a lot of respect for myself, and Yes.
And the way you do that is to work on that story. Whenever you find yourself feeling like you don't deserve it, or it's not for you, or it's not available to you, take a step back and start digging into that. Start really digging into the beliefs, that you have about that, because they're not real, and you can just know that will help tremendously.
Definitely. Yeah, great. Yeah. That kind of does something to the confidence level. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about a job? Do you see a little job coming up for me, or a windfall, or anything like that?
Oh, let me lean in. Sorry, shifting energies here. Hang on.
Oh, thank you.
So I feel like, there's a hanging on to something specific that you want to be doing, or feel like you ought to be doing in this area in terms of the job. Open yourself up to new possibilities, to new types of jobs, new types of new ways to bring in income. There's a not seeing. There's sort of a too narrow a focus that I'm feeling right now. So one thing, what would really help you is I see you, opening up a notebook or getting a piece of paper and writing down all of the ways that all the things you know how to do that could make you money, even if it seems outrageous, even if it seems outlandish, like, oh, that will never work. Write it down anyway and start digging into that list. And I feel like it's going to be a nice long list, but you're going to be able to pick out four different directions you can go. And once you have that just sort of in your psyche, you'll open up the energy to start bringing in jobs that will sustain you.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you very much.
All right. You're so welcome, Donna. Have a great day. All right. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
Okay, area code 305. How you doing? Do we have area code 305 on? Okay. I do not hear you, 305. I wonder if you could check your phone and make sure you're not muted. Okay. I don't hear it. 1 second. Just looking here. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next caller then, area code 860. Hello, 860.
Hello.
Hi, what's your name? Hello. What's your name?
It's Amla.
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 Hi. Have I spoken to you before? I feel like
I
that's a
think
very
so.
familiar name. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while probably though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that name, it's a beautiful and unique name, so it's stuck somewhere.
Can I ask my question?
Absolutely. Ask away.
Okay. So I've been doing some major releasing the gunk and the junk and with the full moon, and I feel absolutely, I had no idea the residual gunk was there, and I feel absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
I really do. I can't believe that's what Spirit was calling for this entire time. The winter, January, February it was so stagnant. I was just like, what do I do with myself? I'm looking for a brand new relationship. Somebody who's committed, and I feel so ready. I feel so awesome.
You are. As you were talking about this clearing, I felt heart. It's like that so much has gone out of your heart. Oh, that's awesome, Amla. Yeah, you've got this big, wide open space. Now, here's something that you need to be aware of, okay? Nothing scary, but your heart is one of your power centers, right? And because it's one of your power centers, it gets clogged so fast. It's so fast.
Yes.
The ongoing maintenance of clearing your heart is really going to be beneficial for you. Right now, you're in a great space. You're wide open to start attracting. I feel like there's 3 men that are going to show up really soon. You'll be like, oh my God, I have choices. But then what happens is, when you go into these relationships or you start playing in this area, your heart starts to get clogged up because your heart gets clogged up because of the interactions with the energies of the other people, okay? And it's not their fault, and it's not your fault, it's just how you're wired. So for a while, I would do nightly clearing. When you go to bed at night, work on clearing your heart. Just work on energetic clearing your heart. Because what will happen is you'll have sort of this windfall of, interest in you, and then all of a sudden they'll go away, and you won't understand why. And it's not because of you. It's because your heart's starting to get clogged up, like the pipes are getting clogged. So if you just continually clear the energy in your heart, you've experienced that before, have you? Clear the energy in your heart. Keep that, do a daily maintenance. Maintenance is really good for you. You may put out there, maybe there's someone who can help you with this. People can do remote energetic clearing. Somebody who can help you kind of get the ball rolling and keep you clear. But that heart space, it's so clear right now, and it's delicious, and it's going to get you exactly what you want, your heart's desire. But like I said, it's your power center, so it'll clog up really quickly. All right?
So wait, can I ask you, so then how does it, I'm a little confused if it gets clogged up, like if my frequency is higher, how is it getting clogged? I don't get it. I guess I'm missing something.
I don't know. I don't think you are missing something. I mean, we've got we're operating on a higher frequency than most people, and we still deal with clogs because we're human. We're never going to be, because we're human and we're having a human experience, our human experiences muck up our system. And so that's why we have regular clearings and regular healings and regular readings, all that stuff to keep our vibration high, to keep us clear. Physical beings, we're not here to be awake and enlightened. We're just not. None of us. No, the best of us. We're here to have the human experience, and that's part of the human experience. And because you have this incredible heart power center, that's what you're dealing with in this area of your life. You're dealing with the beauty of it, and you're dealing with the difficulties of it too. So keep it clear, and you're gonna be good.
Exactly. So then
I'm sorry.
So how do you know who Mr. Right is for me? I would just go with my intuition. Go with the gut.
Go with the gut. Go with what feels good. You know, no matter what happens with the relationship, if you go with your heart's desire, if you go with what feels good, it's giving you exactly what you need. Exactly what you need. So don't worry about it. Try not to worry about how it turns out. Just go with your heart's desire and trust this is exactly what I need.
Yes, and I deserve this. That's for sure. We all do. Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Rock on.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Right on, Amla. Have a great day.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Be well. You too.
Okay. Area code 559 is our next caller. You there? 559.
Yes, I am.
Hello. What's your name?
My name is Evelyn.
Did you say Evelyn? You're a little muffled. It's hard for me to hear you.
Yes.
Evelyn. Okay, Evelyn. The first thing I'm getting, even like before you ask a question, I'm getting a pain in my right side, like to my back. Not quite as far as my kidney, but I'm getting a pain there. Is that related to you?
No, thankfully, no.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just putting it out there because that's what I got all of a sudden when you called in. So, if that shows up, okay. What can I answer a question for you?
Yes, I've been thinking about what does Spirit have to say in terms of moving. I'm contemplating. I have a great career right now. I have a great place, but I just feel like I want to move. I think I'm tired of moving. Yes.
Okay.
I want to know if that's a good idea at the moment.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that last sentence?
I want to know if that's a good idea, just because I do have an established career and a home, pretty much that's very inexpensive, and where I want to live. It's going to be double or triple the cost. So.
Right. So you're feeling restless, and there's a reason that you're feeling restless. It's not so much about moving location. That's the first thing we want to do when we're off track. When we're off track with our spirit, with our destiny, with our life purpose. Okay, gotta bail. Let's see if it'll help.
Yeah,
that's the surface. So your job is to dig deeper into your career. And I need you to dig into your career and really look closely and really evaluate as passionately as you can what's going on there, what's not satisfying for you anymore, what is missing in your life, what is not sustaining you, not giving you life force, not energizing you. Because that's what I feel is going on there. And then once you identify that, then you'll know, it'll be very clear to you whether moving is the right choice or not. But you're going to need to dive a little deeper into the move and really trust what you see. Trust what you see in your life right now, not just with the move, but I feel it with career, this established career, something is amiss. Something is not feeding you. There, that's where it is. And it's maybe something you're overlooking entirely because it's just you don't want to look at it. It's established. It's like giving you what you need, but it's important for you to look at it because once you're able to see it, you'll be able to make changes very quickly. And it'll be positive changes for your life. And I do feel movement, but not right at this minute because there's something deeper you need to look at in terms of what's going on in your life right now. There's something there's a seed that is very, very unsatisfying, and it's niggling at you because Spirit is needing you to course correct in some way, but it's not specifically the move. Does that make sense?
Okay, I just need to figure out what that may be. It makes sense. Thank you.
Right.
Is there anything else that perhaps Spirit has wants me to know? Or any other messages you think?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot in my throat, and I'm feeling a lot with communication. So I said earlier you were very muffled. I know you speak very softly, so it doesn't surprise me that that's where the energy shows up for me. So I feel like looking in areas of communication, like where you communicate or are unable to communicate, is going to help you dive into what's dissatisfying for you, what's not working for you anymore. It doesn't mean you have to become, a master orator or a public speaker or anything like that. That's not what I mean. But there's areas of where authentic self-expression is not happening for you. So where is that blocked or where is that discounted in your life? And that's going to help point you in the direction of what needs to be fixed or adjusted. And then I do feel a move. I feel a move that's going to make you really happy.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome, Evelyn. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, I want to try one more time, bring in area code 305. Are you there, 305? No, Still not hearing you, 305. All right, well, I'm sorry that we couldn't get you on the show today. I wish we could have. Try in again next week. I wonder if maybe your phone is on mute or something. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I hope to catch you next week, all right? So that's all we have for today's show. Thank you for listening in today. Such a pleasure to share with you, and thank you, everyone who called in with your questions to get a reading. I want to thank my producer, Reverend Tiffany White-Sagewoman of Goldilocks Productions. So without her, this show would not be possible. Goldilocks Productions hosts a number of spiritual shows, and you can find the archives hosted on Spreaker.com. That's SPREAKER.com/Goldilocks Productions. So that's Goldilocks with a Y, GOLDYLOCKSPRODUCTIONS. Spreaker.com/Goldilocks Productions. So give us a follow there. Explore all of our fantastic content that Goldilocks Productions produces, and please share. Now, if you want to get in touch with me directly, you can visit my website at ingridhturner.com. You can learn more about me on that site. You can book a reading with me. Our next show is our monthly special. We have our channeling and creativity panel discussion. I have 3 fantastic creators so dialed into spirit, and they're going to come and talk to you about how their connection with spirit feeds and produces their creativity. So if you're a creative buff yourself, or you know somebody who is, please listen in. You don't want to miss this show. That'll be Tuesday, March 28th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and I'm so looking forward to diving in again next week. You have a wonderful day.